Good morning and welcome back to another video. Your boy has been intermittent fasting for the last 2-3 weeks, but today we're gonna go get some fun drinks, get some fun food, and go hang out in the park because it is absolutely freaking beautiful outside and your boy needs some sunshine. So come along with me, pull up a seat. What are you working on? Leave us a comment down below. I'm super keen to build out this community and learn about what you all are working on. And let's go. All right, so we're at the park, and I just want to show you what I got. So, iced coffee, a tiramisu macaron, however you call it. Guys, you need to look at this. Absolutely freaking delicious. Like, so freaking good that it pains me because I want to eat 400 of them. And then, to top it off, I've been super jealous of all my friends over in New York who are crushing amazing bagels. So your boy got a little breakfast sandwich, sausage, egg, and cheese, little cream cheese added to the bagel. All my East Coasters, you know what I'm talking about. So I'm having a lot of friends that are getting into this entrepreneurial mindset here. And a lot of them are, what do you think about this idea? What do you think about that idea? And I actually want to kind of dive into that and peel that onion back a little bit because I think there are some things that you should do and definitely some things you shouldn't do. So stay tuned for that, but for now, we're going to crush this food and we got to start working in some TanStack queries, y'all. So I am a complete noob to TanStack, but I do know that this is the right approach and I'll kind of dive into some of the screens and why I think it is the right approach here soon. So first order, crush this bagel. I already crushed this macaroon. Y'all didn't see it, but it's freaking gone. And yeah, so see you in a minute. All right, y'all, so we needed to move our spot again. Check out this freaking water view. But we needed to move our spot again. So I figured while we were walking, we could be walking and talking. So I wanted to talk about the startup world and my thoughts around getting involved in side hustles, side project, things like that. So a couple of my friends have been tossing around ideas like, oh, we should go and build this. I think it'd be totally incredible, you know, make buckets of money. And I think it's really easy as a developer to be caught in that like 0 to 1 hype of building something new, starting fresh, getting organized, picking out tech, picking out colors, like all those things that we are naturally drawn to, and start iterating on the 0 to 1. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 weeks go by and you realize that you had zero passion for whatever it is that you're building. And then you feel guilty because you're not slamming code and cranking lines out, and you just create this toxic environment for yourself because you started off on the wrong foot. And the reality is, if you are not ultimately passionate about the problem you are solving, you're gonna get through that little hype train and times are gonna get tough and the code might get a little boring. You might not wanna talk to some clients and things like that, and ultimately, you're just gonna, like I said, feel guilty because you're not giving it your all. And at the end of the day, you have a very high likelihood that you're going to just flat out quit. And that's not to dog on you saying like the idea that you're trying to solve is a bad idea. The reality is, I think a really amazing place to start is by solving your own problems that you actively have. And the reason I say that is because if you solve your own problems, something you are facing in your day-to-day life, you're gonna be really passionate about the solution. And on top of that, you're going to be the perfect customer to start ideating on what the hell the tool should actually do. So for me, I started a woodworking business, side hustle, was making good money, but truthfully, I pretty much made my wife a single parent because I'd spend all my time in the garage. So that wasn't cool with me. I had to, you know, hang up the apron, so to say, and get back into the house and start prioritizing my family. Ultimately, I was just going through some growth opportunities and yeah, some hard-learned lessons. But while I was woodworking, there was a couple problems that I always ran into. Things like managing cut lists and managing the shopping list, managing projects, you know, what projects are due, which ones So I'd have, basically a whiteboard, piece of paper, Kanban board style, and I would try to manage all of that. Then on top of that, I was always wondering, I wonder how much inventory I have out in the garage for, this next batch of product. And it just became super monotonous to manage, super annoying to keep track of all of that, because I only had it, on pictures on my phone, and good thing I'm short, I'm going under the tree. I always had it on pictures on my phone and on the whiteboard out in the garage. So that is where I got the idea for Benchbox. Truthfully, like, I am solving my own itch, saying it was so stupid to have to track all of those things, paper and pencil, whiteboard, Excel documents, super freaking annoying. So that's why I'm building this app. I'm building this app to solve previous Andrew's problems and future Andrew problems, and hopefully the problems of many other people out there. And I say that with so much emphasis because that is a real problem that I encountered on my day-to-day life. And I think if you don't try to approach the problem of something that you actually face, like I said, I just don't think you're gonna be passionate about it. I think you're gonna grow stale of it. I think it's gonna get boring. I think you're going to really struggle identifying the roadmap of what should be on the MVP. So do yourself a favor, find a problem in your life and solve that problem. And I know what some of you may be saying, oh, Peacock, I don't have any problems. All the tools I use, they just work, or I don't really use many tools. Well, here's the reality. And some of this, for some of you, this might be some tough love. I almost guarantee that the tools you're actively using right now, you have problems with. Little nits, maybe it doesn't look very intuitive, maybe it's not very pretty, all of those types of things. Those are solvable problems with technical solutions. And if it's a problem for you, it's probably a problem for somebody else. That's a mouthful.
That's what she said.
And then past that, if you really say, nope, all my products that I use, absolute perfect, you might not be doing enough things. You might not be spending enough time exposing yourself to other opportunities. And like I said, that one's hard to hear because I'm not saying you're boring, but you might be not getting involved as much as you could. And some real actionable advice, the easy way to start identifying these things, go ahead and start writing down every single tool, including paper and pencil, that you use to solve your day-to-day tasks, and do it for like 1, 2, 3 weeks. At the end of the 3 weeks or however long you do it, look down and try to find the pattern. Try to see the opportunities where it's like, yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, like that was quite miserable to actually get involved with and complete. Those are the problems that you should start solving because you, as the user, already know the solution for it. What the hell would you want it to do? So that's my advice to you all, is stop building side projects and start building side products. It is a very subtle play on words, a very subtle mentality shift, but a world of a difference. It's okay to just build the idea because you think it's cool, but recognize that it's very likely going to be a portfolio project that you crank out in 2 months and then put it up on the shelf and just call it experience, learning opportunities, all of those things. But I think if you really want to build something that you grow with and learn from and sell eventually, you need to identify a problem that you personally already have, because then you exactly know the solution that needs to happen, the MVP, you know the type of client, i.e. yourself, that would be interested in that kind of product. And I think you will see a world of a difference on how much fun you have, because it is something that's like no shit, at the end of the day, you would actually use yourself. So that's my advice to you all. Soapbox, rant over. We're almost on the other side of the park. Now I'm gonna go grab a new table, start getting back into the code. We're starting to learn TanStack Query. I've never done it before, so it's pretty badass. Like the amount of work that TanStack or React Query does for you, absolutely insane. So I hope that helps you all. I don't want it to sound like I'm being a Debbie Downer. Go and build the cool thing, but recognize that it's probably not gonna be your forever project, and it's probably gonna be a portfolio project. And recognize that it's also okay not fall in love with that thing and just call it for what it is, probably a portfolio project. And you definitely need those. They're freaking awesome, and building up your portfolio, especially in today's world, is probably one of the more important things that you can do. So I hope that helps. I have a lot more to say about it, but I don't wanna chew your ear off for today. So with that, let's get back into the code.
All right, now that we're back home, I want to walk you through kind of where I'm at with this project workflow and truthfully ask for some advice from you all, because I'm not exactly sure how I want this to flow. So here's what I mean. On the project screen here, you can see I have, here are your projects due soon. So soon to me is within the next month. Maybe I'll make this configurable. I'm trying to avoid doing the constant drop downs everywhere, but perhaps I'll make it this drop down across the whole board, something like that, unsure. But the idea is these are your projects that are due soon. So for example, here's a project that is due on May 27th, 2024. Obviously that's soon. So currently, if you click one of these cards, you get brought out to what will be the detail screen. And originally, as you can see over here, I was gonna go for this like Notion style layout to where your detail screen is also your edit screen. And I'm unsure if this is the right thing to do. And what I mean is, I also wanted to make that screen the like create new screen. So the idea is that when you come to the projects tab and you go and click a plus to create a new one, it would bring you to, you know, effectively this detail screen with some skeleton things stubbed out. And how Notion does this is whenever you create that add new, you know, whether it be a table row, a Kanban row, like whatever it is, you create the add new, it automatically creates a brand new thing before you even go and edit the details. I'm not sure if I love that flow. You know, one thing that sucks is when you accidentally click that button and you have a new project when you accidentally didn't want to make one. So then you have to go in and delete it, and that's kind of a pain in the ass. So what I'm thinking about doing is, you know, you click on the plus here and it pops open a modal to create the new project. And then whenever you create the project within this modal, you'll have like a yes button, you know, maybe it's in the top right of the modal, like a little check kind of thing. You know, y'all have seen that design before, but otherwise it won't actually generate the project until you click something on the modal. And if you bring it back down, it's basically like you're canceled. You know, the modal will probably have an X2 or something like that. I kind of like this vibe because this is a dedicated screen to go and create something without accidentally creating something. Because if you're like, oh shit, I clicked the button, you just swipe down the modal and it's gone. So it saves that action of now having to go find something and delete it. But now I am using TanStack query because of the caching capabilities, and eventually what I want is that the projects, and let me just show you. So one of the downsides of these projects right now, and you saw it before, but maybe you missed it, is let's say I click this first to-do item and I just, you know, add a bunch of things on it. You know, it did the request, it actually updated it. Obviously, drawing issue, not updating it, but you can see, boom, it's down at the bottom of the list now. And the reason for that is it's currently invalidating the entire cache and then querying it back, and then Supabase will return that updated object. Now, I could try to sort on a field that made sense here, like maybe on the created date or something like that. But I think what would be even better is if I could update and refetch this very specific item in the place that it's in. And that's where TanStack query is going to help me, because I can come into my project screen, my project detail screen, where editing is currently happening. I can do a mutation for the update, and I can come in here and set the specific project and find it by the specific ID and only invalidate that specific row item. And I'm hoping that by invalidating that specific row item, it will only refresh its place in the list, like I said, for that row item. And what's beautiful about that is, even on the dashboard view, this one is a little less concerning because I'm sorting it by the due date. But imagine I had another card over here that was due, like this one's all the way June 4th. Imagine if I had another May 27th card over here. It would be okay if they swapped positions, but it would be even more ideal if they did it. So that is one of the big pushers on why I'm just integrating TanStack query now. I think it's the right thing to do. And long term, you know, it's the product that I should be using anyways. So I am not the guy to teach you React query. But there's a lot of amazing YouTube videos. I'll drop a link down to some of the ones I watched that I found helpful. But it does a ton of amazing things for you, like caching a request, invalidating specific things within the cache, so it's already handling state management for you. You no longer have to try to catch 18 different cases for, you know, when it's loading, when it's in error, returning the data, getting the JSON out of it. Like, TanStack handles all of that for you. And yeah, this is just a huge +1 for me. I think it is friggin' awesome. And y'all can see here, I still need to scrape it out. I was going to use that detail screen of creating a new project, and I was going to catch a specific project ID. Obviously, in the database, there are numbers, so like this project ID could never be created. But I was going to catch this, not run the query if it was, you know, that secret internal ID. And instead, I was going to run this new project mutation. But like I said, I just don't know if that is the right flow. I suppose I could run this new project mutation before I even navigate to the detail screen, but I'm trying to avoid creating things and then navigating, just because it's the user experience of the haptics of click, do something, navigate. It's going to be slower than if you navigated and then do things on the view. So trying to avoid creating and then navigating, but not quite sure what I want to do here yet. So I'm going to spend a couple of hours just looking at ideas, talking to my friends. I have a lot of amazing React Native friends. Shout out Dev Club, shout out Brian, that's the OG right there. And see what their opinions are. You know, this is where I'm saying I'm not afraid to ask for help, and I think this is the right place to start asking for suggestions. So with that, electrician's coming. I still have to mow the lawn. It is a busy Friday afternoon. We're gonna hang out and watch some movies tonight. So with that, I will see you all next week. Peace.